Hey, how are you? Well, welcome back to my channel. So, I really don't feel like doing snuff, but if we were going to do snuff, we were going to do Copenhagen snuff. But I'm not going to do snuff because I don't want to do snuff. And y'all can't make me do snuff. My damn channel. I'll do whatever I want. So it's Tuesday, it's spring break week, clearly. Just because it's spring break doesn't mean I get spring break. I don't know how many people texted me asking what I was doing for spring break. I'm not doing anything for spring break. I'm an adult. I work. Unfortunately. But I have to have money to be able to buy what I want. And a lot of stuff I want is really expensive. And I still buy it. Even though I shouldn't. So, I don't know if the quality is going to be better. Which I'm pretty sure it is because I got a new camera. I just got a new phone. I got the S10 Plus. It's a pretty cool phone, honestly, so far. The front camera is a really good camera, but for some reason it bothers me that I still have it has a black little oval thing. I guess I'm just gonna have to get used to it, and I will. It's just I'm used to my S8, and it doesn't have that little smooch thingy. Blah. So we have I don't know what to do, honestly. So I have another story time. Yeah, no. Yeah, another one. You gotta be like that. Well, this story time is about 7th grade. Maybe 6th or 7th grade. It takes place at a house. It also takes place at the school. So, get ready for a horrible storyteller. Or, I'm a horrible storyteller. So, the day is Friday. Friday is the day we go to one of our old buddies, Matthew Arcee's house. And me, Taylor Brown, JJ Rojas, Chris Espinoza, Kellen Foster, Miles. Did I already say JJ? I don't know if I already said that. Well, anyways. So, it's Friday. We walk to Arcee's house. Arcee's house is about 2 miles away from the school. It's not very far, but it seems like forever just because it is. So what we do is when we get out of school, we walk to a place that it used to be there. It's not there anymore. Now it's a lottery slot thingy. It used to be called Laguna Market. Laguna Market was a little market from the park. So you could go there and get drinks, and we'd go buy Monsters. And this is when I first experienced the white Monster energy drink. Taylor Brown, he's one of our buddies. He, more than likely, if you're watching this, you know. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so he buys me my first Monster, white Monster ever. And we start walking. And we get to Matthew's house. No, first we pass this black cat. And I can't remember. I've been trying to remember what Taylor told us to do if we ever crossed the path of a black cat. I can't remember to save my life. I don't know why. It was a long time ago, but I can't remember. So anyways, we do what he tells us to do, and then we get to Arcee's house. And Arcee had this bird named Charlie. And that bird was evil. And I'm pretty sure we made it evil, but it was evil. I don't know. It was evil. So, for fun, what me, Taylor, JJ would do, and Chris Douglas was in this too, but he wasn't there at that time. So, what we would do for fun, it was in this cage. It was a green bird. A little green bird, like that big. Little green bird. What we would do is we would let this bird out of its cage. We'd kind of rattle the cage a little bit, and then we let the bird out, and it'd start flying to people to attack them and kill them, because this bird was vicious. Anyway, so sorry, this kind of looks like eyes that are looking right at me. The camera's back here. So we let it out, and we don't. What we always do, we always run to RC's room, which the bird was in the living room. You went through a big door. It was an open doorway, and then there's their kitchen table, and then you turn right at another doorway, and then there's a little hallway you'd go through and then turn right, and that's RC's door. So that's where most of the time we'd run. But for some reason this time, we just ran by the couch. We had this little blanket. I mean, it was probably maybe a 5x5 blanket, a 6x5 blanket, whatever it was. And me and Taylor are under this blanket, and we're trying to get in there because this bird would claw you and like peck you, and it didn't feel pretty. And when it clawed you, it clawed you. So we're under here, and we're like, oh, I think it chased JJ to Archie's room. And then all of a sudden, you hear Taylor say, whoa, dude. Like, what? He's like, the bird's on my head. And without even hesitation, what I did was grab the blanket, throw it off me, and then I took off. I was slow, but in my head, I was going. I was moving. So then I hear Taylor scream, ah! And when I look back, I don't see Taylor. Taylor's made his way into a locked room somehow. The door. So as soon as you walk in his house, there's a door to the left, and it used to be RC's old room, but I can't remember what they turned it into. And that door was locked, and somehow he opened it and closed it. So when I looked at him, he was gone, and that bird was coming to me. I just dropped, roll under the table, not even hesitation, and here comes JJ opening the door like, what was that? And that bird, like a plane, he just goes, flies to JJ. I know the story doesn't seem funny. It's one of those stories you have to be there to actually like realize how funny it is. Oh man, those were the good days. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, Charlie was a mean bird. I don't know what happened to it. I think it flew away one day, but I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. It probably just died. Well, I remember one of my other buddies, Brandon, we call him Alonzo because his last name was Alonzo, and he didn't look like a Brandon. He looked like an Alonzo. So I remember one day he told RC that he saw his bird outside and he got electrocuted. And RC kind of gave him a mean look, like, why would you even say that? And I was sitting there laughing. I mean, it was funny. Because honestly, I don't know what happened to that bird. I guess we can fit 2 stories in here. So, this story is, we're going forward. This is my senior year in high school in Miss Jennings' class. A lot of people know Miss Jennings. My class really knows Miss Jennings. We had Miss Jennings for 3 years. Miss Jennings was a math teacher, a really smart math teacher. She should have went to NASA, but she didn't go to NASA. That's how smart she was. But so we had Miss Jennings for 3 years: freshman year, junior year, and senior year. Freshman year, we kind of didn't have a choice. We heard bad stories. We didn't really believe the stories because, you know, or we did because we're freshmen. We were like, oh God, we're gonna die. And we didn't die. We made it. I had to go to summer school because I was retarded. A bunch of people had to go to summer school for her because they were retarded as well. All the smart people, of course, didn't go to summer school. So, anyways, this is going into my senior year, which I've had pretty much I took all the basic. I took algebra 2, and then this was supposed to be pre-cal. I dropped that class the first day because she started giving us work. She gave us work and a textbook on the first day. I said, nope, Ms. Jennings, I'm going to go change my schedule. And when I went to go change my schedule, I turned it to remedial algebra or pre-cal or whatever it was. And then me thinking, it was going to be a different teacher. It was not a different teacher. I still had Ms. Jennings. And I still did work that same day. And this class, it was dumb math. We started from first grade math, and we only made it to freshman year, to Algebra 1. And when I tell you people were still failing this class, I mean, people were legit failing. And it wasn't the dumb people. It was like some of the athletes. Athletes would take this class because it was an easy math class. Should have been an easy math class. But some of the athletes still failed. But they still played. That's my school for you. But, so, I talked a lot in school. I mean, like, most of the teachers liked me. I was kind of a teacher's pet, just a really dumb teacher's pet. I'd always suck up to the teachers. So Ms. Jennings was probably my favorite teacher, honestly. And, well, she liked me to an extent. There was one day, never mind, this is kind of closer to the end of the year. So, the way her class was set up, it was the front of the class, and then when the chairs were, they would sit in rows. And they had four chairs on the left side of the class, which would be the east side of the wall of the little class. I had 4 chairs. That was called the Fat Four. I made it there once, and that's because there's no other spots. I just had to sit there. And Fat Four wasn't even part of that year yet. Anyways, so then when Fat Four came, I was moved next to people that I was really close with, which was Miles Devon, Brandon Alonzo, Brian. Just Brian. I don't even talked about his last name earlier. Melendez, I think it was Mendez. I'm sorry, Brian. And well, that didn't work out too good. So Miles talked a lot. Miles didn't really talk a lot. Me and Brian kind of made him talk a lot. And well, one day we were saying something, but it actually had to do with the paper that we were doing. And she looks at me and she goes, "Ethan, if you say another word, I'm kicking you out of the class. Like, I'm going to put you in the hallway." I looked at her. I didn't say nothing. And then Brian and Miles are kind of sitting there. She didn't tell them nothing because it was my fault. It really was. And well, Brian says something to Miles. Like, I can't remember what it was. He says something to Miles. And without hesitation, Ms. Jennings says, "Brian, go to the hall." Brian goes, "But Miss," he always called her Miss. He's like, "But Miss, I didn't even do nothing." And she goes, "I don't care. Go to the hall." He looks at me. He was like, "It's because of y'all." He looked at me and Mom like, "It's because of y'all." And I'm trying to hold my laughing. So she's like, "Ethan, you can't make no noises either." I was like, so then Miles, I don't think Miles talked, but she heard something coming from that side of the classroom, and she assumed it was Miles. And I didn't say nothing because it was funny at the time. She said, "Miles, go down the hall." So Miles was like, What? I would have said something, but if I said something, I was going to get kicked out in the hall. So I wasn't risking it. I wasn't going to say nothing until I finished my paper, at least. Because I ain't about to go right on that floor. I mean, messed up. I ain't about to write on some cold floor. So Brian's out in the hall, Miles is out in the hall because of me. I didn't say nothing. I haven't talked this whole class other than the beginning. So I finished my paper. Pretty sure I failed that paper. I don't remember what I made on that paper. And I gave Ms. Jennings is now in the front of the class instead of at her desk. I give her my paper. I kind of look at the class. I look at Ms. Jennings. And then I'm just standing there. And I look back at Ms. Jennings. I go, I'm sorry, man. I gotta talk. And she didn't say nothing, and I just walked out of the class. Because I knew that's where she was sending me. So then Miles and Brian are out in the hall. I'm pretty sure it was cold. It was, I think it was during, I think it was like November or December. It was cold in the hall. And now all three of us are in the hall. And now we're being loud in the hall. I mean, we're talking. We're laughing in the hall. And they're blaming me for this. And I was like, ain't nobody tell y'all to talk. She told me. She didn't tell y'all nothing. They're like, yeah, she told us to go outside. And I was like, hey, I couldn't say nothing. I would have protected y'all, but I couldn't say nothing. And then she brings Brian and Miles back into the room. And then I'm out in the hall by myself for like 3 minutes. It felt like 30 minutes. And then I go back in there. And then she says, all right, you gonna stop talking? And me, I'm a smart, like, my mouth, sometimes I don't think about what I'm saying. I just say it. She was like, you done talking? I was like, probably not. She was like, just go sit down. So I want to go sit down. And then 2 or 3 days later, I had to breathe through my mouth because my nose was all stuffed up. And she told me not to breathe through my mouth. So I'm sitting there. I couldn't breathe through my nose at all. So then when she tells me to stop, I tell her, I was like, I can't breathe through my nose. My nose is all kinds of stuffed up. And our discipline slips were pink slips. I got a pink slip for breathing through my mouth. I wasn't trying to... It's not that I was trying to breathe loud. It's that I had to breathe loud because I couldn't breathe through my nose. And you know, those mouth suckers, which you call people who breathe through their mouth, they're not very quiet. It's hard to breathe through. And for some reason, it was making the people around me laugh because I had to breathe through my mouth. If I breathe through my nose, it was going to be, you know, it was going to be one of those. And I didn't want to be one of them people. I just wanted to breathe through my mouth. I wanted to breathe normally and do my work. And I wasn't talking. And she put that I was talking. I wasn't talking that time. I talked every other time, but not this time. She put talking. I'm okay with it, though. Because you know why? Because she was a good teacher. Maybe. Now she teaches 8th grade. I feel sorry for them kids. They shouldn't have to be exposed to something that's something you have to experience your freshman year. Honestly. Putting fear into children is a good idea unless it's at school. You just want they need to experience fear in their high school years. I know those stories weren't funny. They were funny at the moment. Just because I got people in trouble. Especially Miss Jennings. We'll hear a lot about her too. Well, till next time. Oh, that's not my thing.